So today we spent time learning how to add and subtract polynomials, which is the same thing and is also called combining like terms. So remember, like terms are things that have the same variables, like both 6 and 4 have an x with them. They also have to have the same exponent. That matters as well. So we're going to start with 6x plus 2 plus 4x minus 5. So remember, if I don't have a number in front of my parentheses, that number is a 1. So I'm going to go ahead and put a 1 there, and then I'm going to distribute. So 1 times 6x would be 6x, and 1 times 2 would be 2, and 1 times 4x would be a positive 4x, and 1 times negative 5 would be a minus 5. So if I'm grouping my like terms together, my like terms, again, are things with the same variables and the same exponent. So 6x and 4x go together because they both have x attached to them, and 6x plus 4x is 10x. And then we also have a plus 2 and a minus 5. They go together because they don't have any variables, so 2 minus 5 is going to be negative 3. So my final answer would be 10x minus 3. So I have 2x minus 1 plus 3 times 4x plus 1. So again, I'm going to put a 1 in front of this parentheses here. 1 times 2x is 2x, and 1 times negative 1 is negative 1. 3 times 4x is 12x, and 3 times 1 is 3. So I'm looking to combine my like terms. Well, I have a 2x and a 12x. Those would be like terms. 2x plus 12x would be 14x. And I have a negative 1 and a plus 3, and negative 1 plus 3 is going to be a positive 2. So my final answer is 14x plus 2. My next problem says 3 times 4x minus 5, so we're going to distribute our 3. Well, 3 times 4x would be 12x, and 3 times negative 5 would be negative 15. And then I have minus 2 times x plus 4, so again I'm going to distribute. Negative 2 times x is negative 2x, and negative 2 times 4 is negative 8. So my like terms, 12x can go with negative 2x because they both have an x with them. So 12x minus 2x would be 10x. And then I have my minus 15 and my minus 8. Those go together because neither of them has a variable with them. Negative 15 minus 8 would be negative 23. So my final answer to this problem would be 10x minus 23. My next problem says 6x times 3x minus 2 times x squared plus 5x minus 4. So now we're getting into some stuff with exponents. So again, I'm going to distribute. So when I distribute 6x times 3x, well, 6 times 3 is 18. When I multiply x times x, that actually gives me x squared. So this is 18x squared, and then 6x times negative 2 is negative 12x. And then I keep distributing my negative 2. Now, negative 2 times x squared is negative 2x squared. And negative 2 times 5x would be negative 10x. And negative 2 times negative 4 is a positive 8. So I have a bunch more terms this time, but that's okay. We're just going to look for what we combine together. Well, I have 18x squared, and I also have a negative 2x squared. So these two can go together because they both have squareds, but they cannot go with this 12x or the 10x because both 12 and 10 just have x. 18 and negative 2 have x squared, and that exponent makes a difference. So 18x squared minus 2x squared is going to be 16x squared. Remember, my exponents don't change. I also have negative 12x, which I can put with negative 10x. So if I put negative 12x minus 10x, that's going to be negative 22x. I have this 8 here that I can't combine with anything because there's no other just numbers, so I'm just going to put plus 8. And my final answer would be 16x squared minus 22x plus 8. So I have 4x minus 1 minus 3x plus 2. So I'm going to go ahead and put my 1 in front of my parentheses. Anytime you don't have a number, it's always a good idea to put a 1 there. So 1 times 4x is 4x, and 1 times negative 1 is negative 1. Then I stop because my parenthesis stops, but I start again with a negative 1. Negative 1 times 3x is negative 3x. Negative 1 times 2 is negative 2. So if I were to group my like terms, well, 4x and minus 3x go together, and 4x minus 3x would be 1x. Then I also have my minus 1 and my minus 2. Those go together, so negative 1 minus 2 would be negative 3. So my final answer would be 1x minus 3. So this one has a little bit more to it because it's got more variables, but I want you to see that it doesn't change how we do the problem. So again, I'm going to put a 1 in front of my parentheses because there's nothing there. So 1 and 1. 1 times 4x squared would be, or 4xy would be 4xy. 1 times negative 2x would be negative 2x, and 1 times 4 would be, 4y would be 4y. Then if I start distributing my negative 1, well, negative 1 times 3xy would be negative 3xy. And then negative 1 times negative 5y is positive 5y. So again, I'm grouping my like terms. Well, I have a term with 4, and then I have an x and a y with that. So anything else that has x and y both can go with it. So that means the negative 2x can't, the 4y can, but the negative 3xy can, because they have the exact same variables. They both have that xy there. So because they both have xy, these two pieces can go together. And 4xy minus 3xy is going to be 1xy. So I've put those two together. Then I also have a negative 2x, and I don't have any other x's because this part has a y, this part has a y, this has x, but it has y with it, and this one doesn't. So I know I'm going to have a minus 2x in my answer. And then I also have a plus 4y, and I have a plus 5y. Well, these two go together because they both have y with them, and just y, nothing else. So 4y plus 5y is going to be 9y. So my final answer would be 1xy minus 2x plus 9y. And for my final problem, we're going to find the perimeter of the rectangle. To find the perimeter, you need to remember that you add all the sides. That's how you find perimeter, is you add all sides. Well, I know what two of them are, so I'm going to go ahead and fill in the other two, because if the top side is 4x squared plus 2, then this bottom side is also 4x squared plus 2. And if my left side is 3x minus 1, my right side is also 3x minus 1. So I'm supposed to add all of these, so I'm going to write that all out. 4x squared plus 2 plus 3x minus 1 plus 4x squared plus 2 plus 3x minus 1. And again, I'm just combining my like terms. Well, I have a 4x squared and I have another 4x squared. Together, that's going to give me 8x squared. Remember, I cannot put those with my 3x and my 3x here because both of these 3x's just have x, and my 4's have x squared. So next, I have my variables, my 3x and my 3x. Well, 3x plus 3x is 6x. So that's the next part of my answer. Lastly, I have all of my constants. I have 2 minus 1 plus 2 minus 1. Well, 2 minus 1 is 1, plus 2 is 3, minus 1 is 2. So I really end up with minus 2 here. So my final answer is 8x squared plus 6x minus 2.